My heart is sad and I'm in sorrow for the only one I love.
Country music's Big Bang occurred in the summer of 1927 in the Appalachian town of Bristol, Tennessee. In the span of a 2-week period where over 19 performers recorded 76 songs, the Bristol Sessions, led by Victor Records talent scout Ralph Peer, marked the beginning of country music genre. Peer worked with many musicians that are still familiar to listeners of country music today, launching these artists to a level of fame that would come to define the look and sound of country music for generations to come.
Ralph Sylvester Peer was born May 22, 1892, in the town of Independence, Missouri. Credited with bringing rural Appalachian music to the broader music industry by using portable recording equipment, he was a man of many talents and spent time as a talent scout, recording engineer, and producer in his brief career. His time in the field of music began as a young man in his home state of Missouri, when Peer worked for Columbia Record Company. He went on to truly flourish under the guidance of OK Records in New York, where he supervised the creation of many groundbreaking records, primarily in the blues and gospel genres.
But perhaps the most notable of Peer's achievements were his 1927 Bristol recordings. Recorded while he was a scout with Victor Records, Peer's Bristol Sessions have often been referred to as the beginning of country music as it is thought of today. The Bristol Sessions took place in Bristol, Tennessee, in a small makeshift studio. Jimmie Rodgers, later known as the father of country music, and the Carters, the first vocal group to become music country stars, were both discovered during that session.
After the Bristol Sessions, Peer went on to work with equally famous artists. Billy Maxwell, Louis Armstrong, and Fats Waller were only some of the many well-known artists that worked with Peer's company, Southern Music Publishing Company.
Peer was known by others as an ambitious, sensible worker. Nathaniel Shilkret, one of Peer's bosses under Victor Records, notes that within a year of working for the company, Peer had asked for a raise. Shilkret also spoke of how Peer, during a meeting with a Victor executive, successfully pitched the idea of royalties, paid to both recording executives and artists.
Advances in technology were a key component of Peer's temporary recording studio in Bristol. Before talent scouts were able to travel with their equipment and set up studios wherever they'd like, musicians were faced with the prohibitive cost of traveling to large cities to audition for recording companies. Temporary recording studios allow musicians in rural areas opportunities to audition for talent scouts like Peer. Changes in microphone technology also contributed to shaping the sound of country music. Higher quality recordings allowed for softer voice singers to be heard clearly in recordings, which gave way to the style of crooning. Crooning was popular in both country music and pop music.
The first of country music's famous artists have technology and Ralph Peer to thank in part for their success, but their own skill as self-taught musicians from rural Appalachia cannot be overlooked. The Carter family and Jimmie Rodgers would emerge from the Bristol Sessions as country music's first stars. The Carter family comprised of Sarah and A.P. Carter and A.P.'s sister-in-law, Maybelle Carter. The Carter family brought together tight harmonies drawn from church hymns, distinctive shape note style singing, and instruments. Together, the Carter family made use of auto harps, banjos, and guitars in their recordings. Jimmie Rodgers originally came to record for Peer along with the band the Teneva Ramblers, who broke up after a disagreement broke out within the band, leading Rodgers to record by himself. Rodgers' original record's modest success propelled Rodgers to record more music and gave way to the popularity of his yodeling-style music. Recordings during the sessions included Soldier Sweetheart and Sleep, Baby, Sleep. Rodgers made many recordings under Peer, often traveling to New York to record. Rodgers died in 1933 after battling tuberculosis for 5 years. However, his legacy as the father of country music continues today.
The Bristol Sessions were not just a landmark in the creation of the country music genre. Peer himself is even recognized as being important to the genre, as Peer was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1984. Country musicians today still draw inspiration from musicians and the music of the sessions, including artists like Johnny Cash, Randy Travis, and Loretta Lynn. In the 1980s and 90s, a return to traditionalism was sparked in the country music genre, leading to styles and themes reminiscent of those that originated in the Bristol Sessions. Themes that initially made a young country music genre in 1927 popular to those working class in Appalachia and continue to be popular in Appalachia today.
I told him over again to quit drinking whiskey, lay off of that gin. He's in the jailhouse now. Idle-dee-dle-dee-dle-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. The-yodel-dee-dle-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. The-yodel-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.